series among his busy schedule. And we welcome you on behalf of the department, the faculty members, and the institution, Mr. Sudhakar.
Good morning, ma'am. Thanks for the. It's my pleasure.
Good morning. Good morning. And over to MOC.
A marvelous morning to one and all gathered here for this wonderful Alumni Webinar Series 2020. I delightfully invite our guest speaker for today's session, Mr. P.R. Sudhakar, Senior Staff Manager, Tesol Service Private Limited. I heartily invite our beloved Principal, Dr. R. Gopalakrishnan, K.S. Rangasamy College of Technology. I kindly invite Dr. K.B. Jayanti, our ever-supportive Head of the Department, Electronics and Communication Engineering. I cheerfully welcome all the faculty members who made this webinar possible. Last but not the least, I happily invite all my fellow classmates for this marvelous webinar series. Once again, on behalf of the students, I thank all the faculty members for organizing this enlightening webinar series to enrich us during this lockdown crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mowgli. To be inspired is great, but to be an inspiration is an honor. Now I call upon Mr. Hariharan, final year, to introduce a man of desire, dreams, and vision. Our most valued guest, Mr. P.R. Sudhakar, Senior Staff Manager, Tesol Services Private Limited. Thank you.
I deem it as a great honor to introduce Mr. P.R. Sudhakar, who is an alumni of 1998 to 2002 batch. He also holds a ME degree in VLSI design from Anna University. After graduation, he has worked as a lecturer for 3 years in MPNMJ College. Then he decided and completed his PG degree in 2007. From there, he started his VLSI career path. He developed test programs on multiple ATE platforms for ASICs and power management devices, as well as test program optimization involving yield enhancement, characterization engineering, and characterization engineering. After working on innovative products and developed an understanding of the semiconductor industry from June 2007. He is presently working as a senior staff manager in test engineering at Tesol Services Private Limited, Bangalore. On behalf of the marvelous gathering, I consider it as a privilege and honor to welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Hariharan. Champions are the people who are always prepared to depend, ready to repeat, and believe in themselves, dedicated in work. Now, I cheerfully invite such a person who has accomplished a success, Mr. P.R. Sudhakar, Senior Staff Manager, Tesol Services Private Limited, our most valued guest, to acknowledge the gathering with his enlightening words. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sonia, Mowgli, SK, I think Karthikeyan, right? And so everybody, okay. Thanks for the welcome, and it's my pleasure to be the part of this webinar series. And I'm even happy that getting connected to all you guys after a long time. I should have done this earlier, but it's okay. This pandemic, COVID-19, has helped us all to join together to have this webinar and to get connected. Okay. Let me share my screen and let me know once you are able to see the screen. Let me know once you are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir. Slide is visible, sir.
Okay, fine. So, just a small correction. Okay, I'm not sure, it's my mistake also. Okay, in my resume I could have given like Tesol Services, but it's no longer a services. It is a Tesol Semiconductor Private Limited. It's my part of mistake also, because the resume is outdated one. Okay, I forgot to update the company's name. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, and today. I thought of giving, I thought of taking this topic, an introduction to the semiconductor testing, and I also wanted to touch upon these opportunities for the engineers in the semiconductor industry. Okay, and this is going to be the agenda. Okay, where I will touch the overview of my company, and I will give an introduction about the semiconductor testing, and at the last I will touch a little bit on the opportunities in the semiconductor industry. Okay. Before going to the topic, a few disclaimers. If there is anything that I am going, fast. Okay. If you have, and if there is any any issues in the internet, please bear with me. Okay. And I'm not a public speaker. Okay. But I have a team of 26 people to handle. So if there is anything, I'm going fast. Okay, you can stop me anytime. Okay, and don't hesitate to stop and ask questions. Okay, and I tell you, I'll ask so many questions in the middle. Okay, don't get scared. If you know that, please do answer. Okay, you are free to answer, and don't bother that your professors or lecturers are there in the call. Okay, don't get feared. Okay, just let me know what you know about the topic that I'm going to ask for. Okay. Okay. This is our strength. Okay, this is my company's strength, where we are strong in all these fields, like starting from the design engineering. Design engineering, when I say design engineering, it is the DFT. Okay, DFT in the VLSI domain, and I am the part of the test engineering, and TESOL is worldwide known for the test engineering facility. Okay, and we also have the characterization lab. Okay, and we are strong in the PCB engineering, and we have the embedded division and system design team also, and we have the failure analysis capability, and we have the capability to do the failure analysis as well. Okay. So which means that we are the one leading in the semiconductor service providing, where we start from the end-to-end service, like start from the design to till that failure analysis. We'll do cover all the parts of the semicon services. Okay, and as I told, right, TESOL, if you go and ask outside, or if you Google it, you can see that our TESOL semiconductor company will be one of the top company in the service providing of the test engineering services. Okay, and basically it is being started or founded in 2004 by Rajamanikam. By Rajamanikam, he is from the southern part of India. He is basically from Madurai. Okay, and our employee strength is 2,100 plus. Okay, and it's still growing, and we have our offices in different parts of the world. Okay, and our head office is at Bangalore, and we do have offices at Coimbatore, Vizag, Bhubaneswar, and we also there in the on-site, like we have support and offices in Singapore, Malaysia, Penang, Germany, and we have sales offices in USA and Europe. So which I mean to say that we are a global player. Okay. So okay, these are the list of our customers for whom we do the services in terms of test engineering and design, or embedded all it covers most of them. Okay, and our partners are NXP, Texas, and then Qualcomm, then National Instruments. These are our partners. And having told what we are in the market, these are the facilities that we have in our company. It covers from the PCB manufacturing that we have in the Singapore, and then we do have the characterization lab in our Bangalore head office, and we have the SLT lab in the Bangalore office, and we have the reliability and FA. When I'm telling about FA, not many people in India and across the world, they don't have the facilities of doing this failure analysis, where the ICs will be decapsulated, and we will look into that what is the actual problem into the chip also. Okay, so FA and reliability is one of the added facility that we have. Okay. And we also do the not only we do the small service, we will take care of the end-to-end solution also, like in designing the chip till the manufacturing and then release. Not manufacturing, sorry, manufacturing support and then release. Okay. So I just given an overview of my company, Tessol Semiconductor. If you want to Google, you can always go to the website and you can take more, Google it more. Okay. And then before going into that semiconductor testing, sorry, I have taken this topic because I am working on the semiconductor testing. That's the reason I have taken this topic. Okay. Before going into the topic, I just want to ask few questions. Okay. And I would be happy if I get answers from few at least. Okay. One thing, I'm saying that everybody is a test engineer. Okay, being being in the final year or third year or even going to pass out, right? I'll be telling everybody is a test engineer. Okay, any reason why I call everybody is a test engineer? Can anyone tell? I'm telling that everybody is a test engineer. Hello. On the other way around, is that anywhere in your course you tested any IC? Hello. I'm audible, right? Sorry. Hello.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yeah. My question is that anytime in your BE, okay, you did any testing of an IC?
Yes, sir. During lab experiment, we testing the IC, sir.
What kind of IC is that? Sorry.
225 op amp, like that.
5 timer and then off
Yes,
and gates. Correct. Exactly. Okay. So that's the reason why I called everybody as a test engineer. Okay. You probably used an power supply, a signal generator, an oscilloscope. Correct.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is the basic testing, that how it gets started. Okay. That's the reason I called that everybody is a testing engineer. Basically, everybody could have done a testing in their curriculum. Okay. I mean the BE. Okay. With this small, I'll just go a little bit inside more. Okay. If you see, this is the overall manufacturing, semiconductor manufacturing cycle. I mean, on a top level, I'm saying there are still more to cover, but I'm saying on a top level, this is a semiconductor manufacturing cycle. Okay, it starts from the design based on the system requirement. Okay, and it goes for the DFT, fabrication of the wafer processing, testing of the wafer, and then dicing, packaging, then testing on a package level. Okay, and then shipment. Okay, shipment I mean to the customer, that is ourselves. Okay, and okay, let me take an example. Okay, let's take everyone's favorite. Okay, mobile is going to be a part of everybody's life, right? Okay, can anyone tell, okay, what is the ICs being used inside your mobile? Okay, anyone? Let's take Samsung. You'll be very favorite on Samsung N30, N31, correct? Samsung A70. So many things are, right. Any idea what is the heart of that mobile? That is a chip inside that. Which processor exactly? Which processor? Or the MSM IC is there inside? No idea. Okay, let me tell you, it will be like Samsung, Qualcomm Snapdragon 765, 855. These are the different processor that will be there inside your mobile, right? So basically, when you are everybody is buying the mobile, we are supposed to see what is the spec, correct? But we always end up in seeing only what is the fancy stuff, like what is the speed of that. Okay, but even we don't bother about whether we will be using that much speed or not, and we will be always looking into the fancy stuff like the camera quality. Okay, but we always forgot to check what is the processor being used inside. If you see the processor compared to a Xiaomi or a Samsung, the processor could be the same. Okay, but because of the naming and branding and other stuff, one is getting higher price and another is getting lower price. Okay, I'm not doing a marketing, but I'm trying to tell that when we are trying to buy a product, we are forgot of the actual requirement. What is the IC inside and what is the speed? Okay, what is the capability, whether it's a dual core or a quad core, like that. Okay, that's the reason I highlighted this. Next time when you have a chance, please do look into that. You can install that CPU-Z app and you can get into all these details. Okay, so okay, why should we test the product and why do we test the product and what is the testing all about? Okay, so as a user, you are buying a mobile. Okay, do you think that the product is being sold to us without testing? No way, right? The product is being sold to us after being tested in a different vigorous test is being done and then being given as a quality product to us. Okay, and it is being told, and it is in the research, it is being told, when you are trying to find the fault in the beginning, then the amount of cost cutting that you are saving is very high. Okay, and if you are leading the defect to the system level, then it will be even more damage. Okay, I mean to say that if you are doing the testing and preventing that to the next level, I can save, it is just going to take 10 cent or 10 cent at the wafer level, and if it is going to be at the package level, it is $1, and if it is going to be in the PCB level, it is $10, and then in the system level, it is $100. I'm just giving a top level example. Okay, so the other reason is that the most of the time the amount that we spent on the product, the amount that we spent on the product is not for the manufacturing cost. The amount that we spent on any IC will be majorly goes to the testing of the product, to test and tell that this product is good, good, and it is meeting the spec. That is the reason why the cost of the chips or any of the electronic product is going to be high compared to the actual manufacturing cost. Okay, so why do we need to test? Because as I told, we need to give a quality product to the customer, and we want to use a quality product which you don't want to get spoiled soon after we buy, right? And if we test, we can feedback the process to make sure that it meets the spec. Assume that you are design a product to run at 1 gigahertz, but because of the manufacturing defect or something else, it is not meeting the spec. Then by doing this test, we can do a feedback and then we can improve the process to meet that spec. Any questions? Sorry, am I running fast? Hello.
It is going correctly,
sir.
Sudhakar. You can proceed.
Yeah. Okay. So having said that, so this is the what are the need for this semiconductor testing. So as I told, right, to give a quality product, reliable product, and to monitor the process drift and feedback it to improve the yield. Yield, I mean to say that the number of parts being tested, number of parts being passed, the number of parts being tested is the yield. Okay, and in doing so, we can even reduce the cost. Okay, so these are the reason why we want to go for the semiconductor testing. Okay, so just want to compare what is the testing environment look like. Somebody told that yes, you guys have did that 555 IC testing and then 741 op-amp and then the logic gates and maybe any other ADC DAC as well, right? Maybe on the it is like a bench test facility kind of thing where you guys tested that, right? So which I mean to say that you could have seen, I mean, you can see the comparison between what we have on the left hand side and the right hand side. Left hand side is the normal way that we used to do the testing in our laboratory, right? Where it will be power supply and it will be manual controlled. Okay, sometimes it might be a little bit of programmed as well, but most of the time it will be manual efforts where you will be connecting all this and then getting the results to be recorded, and it might not have the capability to give the stable result, and you are not able to test more parts. Other now you see this other segment is the ATE. This is called ATE, automatic test equipment. Okay, because of the growing demand, you cannot still do the normal way of testing. Growing demand in the sense, the people who have joined are about like 140, right? Almost at least like 70 people, 80 people could be using the same phone. Samsung, M30, M31, M40, so many, right? Similarly, if you think of the worldwide market, okay, the time to market is very less. If you are not releasing the product to the market, then the other strong player will come into picture. That is the reason why we want to make the testing to be even faster. So that is the reason why this ATE, automatic test equipment, came into picture. Okay, so what is ATE? ATE is high performance computer along with the different test instruments being put together, where it can be programmed and controlled. Okay, where you can give the signals and get the get the output to be recorded, and you can get a very stable results also. That is ATE. Okay, why we want to go to an ATE? As I told, right, earlier, the bench kind of thing, where we don't have, where we will not be able to reproduce the result, or you cannot multiply the number of testing also, number of device testing also. That is the reason why this AT come into picture, where you can do a program, and you can able to record the results or pass the inputs. You can do whatever you want in a very limited and in an accurate manner and a reproducible manner also. That's the reason why this came into evaluation. Okay, when I say this AT test advantage, it has multi-site testing. What is multi-site testing in the sense? Okay, assume that I am testing one device with one power supply. If I have like more number of power supplies, okay, more number of signal generators, then I can do more number of ICs in parallel, okay, which will able to reduce the time at which it is being tested. So as I told earlier, right, the amount of money that we spend on a product or an IC, most of the costs go for an testing, not for the manufacturing. So if you are going, if you are able to do the multi-site testing, then we can even save more cost. That's the reason why we go for this. That's the other reason why we go for this AT test also. Okay. Okay. You might be wondering, I am telling what is ATE, I am telling that it is giving those, so it is just simple. Okay, it is the instruments put together and being controlled by the computer programming. Okay, and then this is how the ATE test system is going to work, where we will be giving the required inputs like voltages or signals informations to the devices. When I am saying signal information, it could be a vector where you can program different input pins in a different higher low level. All these things put together are called as a vector, and you will be passing it to the device under test. Okay, let it be a logic gate when you think in your whatever you told, but the same could be even applied for the MSM product, like whatever that your IC is having inside, the IC is being there inside your mobile, or it can be an SoC device, or it can be a Bluetooth device or an IoT device, anything for which the tester will be the same. The hardware used for the testing will be different, and the IC will be different, and based on the need, okay, based on the data sheet, the input to be given to test the IC will be different. Then we will give these inputs to the IC, then we will record, we will measure the output. Okay, basically this output is going to be compared against the input. Okay, and we will tell whether the result is going to get matched or not matched. Matched in the sense it will be declared as a passing device. Not matching will be declared as a failing device. Any questions? This is how you will also do it. Say for example, I am taking a logic gate. Okay, what you will do? You will be programming the four. Say for example, let's take an 741 op-amp. Okay, let it be a schematic trigger where you will be forcing a particular input, and then you will measure and then see whether that schemic trigger output is able to, based on the record, I mean, results being recorded, you will be saying that yes, it's meeting the spec. When I'm saying that it is meeting the spec, which means that you will be holding a data sheet, you will be having what is the lower limit, what is the upper limit for the particular parameter to be measured, right? Based on that, you will be telling it to be pass or fail. Okay, when you do that in the laboratory, it's going to be a manual work. When you do in an AT, it's going to be a programmed, okay, where it can be done in much faster way. Only the engineering time to start the program will take little bit of time. But once you have that, you can do the testing on like millions and millions of devices. You can do the test, and based on the instrument capability that you have, you can do a multi-site testing. Thereby you can reduce the testing time and the cost of the testing, and then you can even get them released to the market in the faster pace. Yeah, I think, sorry, somebody about to ask some questions. Yes, any questions? Okay. So I'm keep on telling there are testing. Okay, what kind of test you will be do? Okay, before going into that, do you know anything like structured faults? I'm not sure whether it covers that post graduation people also, but I believe that in the UG level also there will be like a digital electronics like. Hello?
Yeah, actually, we have 2/3 of the crowd only on second and third years, Mr. Sudhakar,
Okay, fine.
and they don't even have started VLSI yet.
Okay,
It
fine.
is yet to be started, but
Okay.
maybe digital says a few things, but not much sure about them.
Okay, it's okay, ma'am. Just give an example, okay? Assume that you take a two input AND gate, okay? Two input AND gate, okay? So your expected output will be if, okay, let make it even more easier. Let's take a two input OR gate, where your expected output is high when any one of the input is going to be a high, correct? So assume that if both of your input is going to stuck at the ground pin, okay, I mean to say that both of the pin is going to stuck at the ground level, okay, what will happen to the output? No time you will get the higher output, right? So what is the minimum vector that you can pass to test the IC is that if I am forcing one of the input and don't care, even if I'm forcing a don't care in any of the other input, so I need to get the high level at the output basically, correct? But if the output is going to get us a low level, then which means that either in the input level or in the output level the pin is being stuck at the low level. Got that right? So that is easier understanding example I'm just saying, okay? So in general, all these testings that we are doing can be categorized into three. I missed to add one. One is the structural test where manufacturing defects and the structured fault, transition delay, all these being tested, and then you can weed out the failing devices out. And then the other test is functional test where it will guarantee the functionality of the device. Say for example, if there is an SP serial peripheral interface, which means that it has to work based on the requirement of the interface, right? So on that you will be having so much of rise time, fall time, all those things will be measured and it will be guaranteed. And there are something called parametric test also where the current measurements are being done. It will be guaranteeing how much the leakage current, okay? When you take a critical mobile, right? Mobile as an example, right? Assume that it will be in a working condition, it will be in an ideal condition, it will be in an off condition, right? So do you think that it is going to take the same amount of power in all the three cases? No, right? So basically when it is working, it will be the amount of current being drawn by that mobile or the device is going to be higher, but rather when it is in an ideal state or an off state, it will be very less, right? So those kind of measurements will be done and then it will be given for the, I mean, only when it meets, then it will be declared as a good device, and then it will be given for the customer. Okay. So I think I have given a little bit knowledge on the, I mean, the testing and what we use for testing. Any doubts so far? I think I'm running fast, if I'm not wrong. Any questions?
You can feel free to interact, students. ஏதாவது கேட்கணும்னா கேட்டுக்கலாம். ஃபுல்லா முடிச்சிட்டு கேட்கணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லை, அதுக்கு தான் அவர் கேட்கிறாரு. இது வரைக்கும் கேட்டதுல உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது கேட்கலையா, புரியலையா, anything you want to share with them on digital, என்ன வேணா கேட்கலாம். He is very good in analog and digital. நாங்க சொல்லி கொடுத்தது புரியலனா கூட கேட்கலாம். Is it not, Mr. Sudhakar?
Yes, ma'am. I will try to answer. Okay. One thing. Okay. Maybe like I will ask this thing. Now tell me, in India, do we have any semiconductor, I mean, any wafer manufacturing company in India? Anyone? Any idea? Or to make it even more interesting, what is the latest nanometer technology that we have? So what is Moore's law? So I'll keep on asking questions. As I told, right, I'll be more, I mean, I'm known for asking more questions from the college days. So Moore's law says that every 2 years, right, the amount of transistors will get doubled, correct? So that is the amount of complexity also. Okay. So I'm saying that earlier in 10 years back, if you see, might be like 1 lakh or 1 million transistors in that small amount of small chip that you are seeing, but now it could be like even 100 times more than that. Okay, whatever that MSM you are talking about, right, you can Google it and you can see that what is the amount of transistors or electronics going into that small amount of chip that you are having inside the mobile. Okay, so why I am saying that the nanometer technology currently 7 nanometer product, it's already there in the market. When I am talking nanometer, it is the half of the distance between your drain to source. Band gap, half of the band gap is the nanometer technology. So earlier, till now it is 7 nanometer, and already products are in testing for the 5 nanometer technology. Okay, so I mean, so the reason why I'm saying is that we are working for the customer like Qualcomm, where whatever the mobiles that you are using, right, I mean the Samsung M31, whatever the mobiles, you can tell whatever the mobile, inside that ICs will be touched either by I mean any one of our team members in our company, for sure. It could be touched by any one of, I mean, tested for any of the parts like a stuck faults or a ATP GTDF functional block, or any of the characterization support or the hardware being used, anything. It will be definitely, it will be our TESOL services definitely will be there in the part, I mean, will be there as a part in the product that you are using. That's the reason I'm able to tell this. Okay, if you want, ask, you can always, I mean, contact me so I can give even more information. Okay. So the latest technology is 5 nanometer. Even there is a research going on in 3 nanometer technology. So whenever the amount of nanometer technology is dropping down, the complexity of the ICs is going to be more, then there is going to be more and more problem for the fabrication. There will be more and more problems in the fabrication level, where it has to be tested and given out as a working product to the customer. Okay, I think if there is no other questions, let me jump onto the, okay. So far I have told what is test engineering, and what, at least like a basic on the test engineering part, right, and what we use for the test engineering. Okay. So any of the electronics industry or the company, you can fit into the any of these categories. You can see that OEM is original equipment manufacturers, where a company like Sony, okay, will be a strong player in the camera, correct? And a company like an microelectronics, okay, will be strong in the ST microelectronics, will be strong in particular, and Intel is strong in the processor, right? I mean your computer processors, right? CPUs, right? Similarly, there are companies like fab houses, TSMC. I think I have asked a question earlier whether we have any fab houses in India. I tell you, we don't have any fab houses in India. That is other reason, because the amount of investment for getting the fab houses is very huge, and the amount of investment to maintain it and the amount of investment to change or adapt to the technology, to the upcoming technology, is very huge. That is the reason why we don't have the fabs in India. Places like China, Taiwan, Singapore have the fab houses. Okay, and companies like Qualcomm, Broadcom, they will have that IC to be designed. Okay, IC design will be major part of the Qualcomm, but still they don't have any fab to own. They will use the facilities of the TSMC, UMC, like these fab houses to get their wafer and to get their ICs to get manufactured, where the design will be from the Qualcomm. Okay, and other division is like a test engineering and solution providers. And yesterday I think Madan has given something on the Tata Elxsi, where it is a service companies. It supports for the communications, and it supports for the software also, and it's in embedded division also, right? Embedded, all these different services are being a part of this Tata Elxsi. And EDA company in the sense, like what are the tool that you are using, like Mentor Graphics tool, VLSI, Verilog, VHDL, all those will be a part of this, any of these Synopsys, Mentor Graphics, right? These comes in the EDA companies. This comes under the EDA company. So the reason why I have given this is that first you need to know where you are strong, and based on that you need to attack which company you want to target. So that's the reason I just given this broader classification. If there might be even more, I have just picked few major classifications. Okay. So, okay, what are the different opportunities in that? One is test engineering, which I have already told. Okay, what is the roles and responsibility of the test engineer? If you ask, okay, let me take a critical example of your 741, whichever you have tested, right? What you will do first? First, you will check what is the IC. Okay, you will be getting the data sheet of that. You will be looking into that, and then you will be studying what are the instruments that you need for doing that IC testing. I mean 741 IC testing. You will be doing an impedance measurement. You will be doing a slew rate. So for which you will be checking any applications like an adder, subtractor, or a schematic trigger application. Then you might be ending up in, you need like instruments like an power supply, voltmeter, ammeter, or signal generator, CRO. So this is called the feasibility study, where you need to study what is the requirement for that IC to be tested. You need to check what is the instrument to be used. Okay, and based on that you need to plan what is the test to be done. Okay, and then you need to work on what is the hardware design. Hardware design, it includes the schematic layout, and there are even many more stages. Okay, and then it will be like an program development, offline and online program development, and then debug in the sense when you are giving the input, right, and you will be measuring the output through the oscilloscope, might be a CRO or a DSO, where you will be measuring the output and see that whether it meets the spec, whether the signal is free from noise, correct? All those things you will check, and then you will try to fine tune the inputs to make sure the output is to the expected level. And even you will be ending up in passing in different voltage inputs, and then passing with the different clamp currents, and then you will be doing different experiments, right? That comes under the characterization. So based on that, you will tell that yes, all my setup is fine. I'm ready to test. It is getting the proper output, right? After that, so whatever I am telling you is so far like a bench. The same is equivalent can be done in the ATE level, where once it is done with the programming and everything verified, engineering is done, and then we will release the program for the production. Okay, and there are like even more like guard band, all those things, yield improvement. You will measure like 100 devices and see whether I am meeting the yield, like how many is getting passed, whether 92, 95. It depends on the requirement also, and the amount of testing can be also be taken care, because the testing cost involves in the test time also. Questions so far? Hello.
We'll have the question session at the end of the presentation.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. No problem.
Sudhakar.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So the next equivalent to this test engineering is a product engineering, where it will be like kind of like a analysis or analytical person sitting along with the test engineering people and interacting with the fab people, where he will keep on monitoring what is the output being measured, is there anything need to be fine tuned. Okay, and he is the one going to coordinate between the bench results and the ATM and the AT results, and he will be analyzing the data to improve the yield, and different analysis will be coming as a major role of the product engineering, where he will review the data of the more wafers and then see where is the yield getting dropped, or what is the failing test cases, and he will be taking care of the end-to. I mean, he will work along with the test engineering and the product team or the fab houses to make sure that all are meeting within the specs. Okay, so next is DFT, where say for example whatever that you are using in the labs, right, like Verilog, VHDL, using that you will be programming and make sure that whether any ATPG model can be bring up, okay, coverage wise, and then they'll be writing the patterns and then check whether I mean everything I am talking about the system level, simulation level. It is not on the actual product level, it is on the simulation level I'm saying. Okay, these people will help us in improving the testability and the controllability of the ICs in the design and the simulation level. So what is the skill set that is required? Okay, skill set is like understanding of your basic digital, and then you will be strong in the ATPG memory. You will be reading so many memories, right? DRAM, HRAM, like that, right? So all this memory you need to be very strong. Okay, and then what is that additional tools you need to know is that I mean softwares or the tools is VHDL, Verilog, where you will be having the mentor graphics tools also, right? If you are strong in that, and you can able to get the chances in the DFT. Okay, and physical and layout design is another opportunity, where you will be converting the electric circuits into the layout. Okay, then physical verification is another field where you can able to. So the reason why electronics will be so much high demand is that, as I told, right, as the technology, as the nanometer technology keeps reducing, the opportunity for the engineer to work, or the problems will be more, where the skilled labor is more important, and to get into solve all these problems. So that's the reason I'm saying that uh, uh, everybody has a mobile. Similarly, the whole world is now getting even more smarter. You know, IoT devices, right? IoT device. Any example, favorite example for the IoT device? Any example for any IoT device?
Alexa, sir.
Alexa, Srini, Google Chrome, all this, right? So this everything is becoming possible because of the electronics. So as long as the demand is there, as long as the market is there, everybody has a very high chance. But the role that when the skill set that you have make you to fit into the different of this category, like DFT engineer or a physical layout design engineer or a PD physical design engineer, similar. Okay, and there is another field like embedded software design also, where you will be writing your coding. Anybody who is strong in the microprocessor, microcontroller can easily go and fit into the embedded system design engineer job. Okay, these are the different things. Okay, I'm not going to touch. If you Google, you can get even more. Okay, but this is the major thing that I want to cover here. Okay, having said, there are different roles. Okay, what we need to possess and what we have to expert ourselves into these roles, right? So anything, I mean, anywhere you have seen this earlier on your left hand side? These are your labs that I have taken from your curriculum. Okay, if you see right from your second year till the final year, you can see that the syllabus is being well framed. Okay, so sorry, the reason why I'm telling is that I'm being a student, I'm being a lecturer, now I'm being in a professional like a test engineer. Okay, so that's the reason I just wanted to compare all the way and make sure that we have all the resources. Okay, the problem is that we are not utilizing it properly. Okay, if you see right from the second year till the final year, the way in which the course is being designed or the curriculum is being designed. Okay, if we are making use of it very well, okay, right from your electric circuits lab, where you can easily learn what is the circuits, Ohm's law, all this. You might be thinking where I will be using the Ohm's law. Definitely you will be using it, but in an indirect way. Okay, it will not be like nobody will ask you directly what is the Ohm's law, how you are applying. No, but you will be using it indirectly. Okay, now I ask this question. Okay, now anyone can tell what is an Ohm's law? Anybody in this third year or final year or second year? Let's see. Ohm's law, basic Ohm's law.
ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஓம்ஸ் லா கேக்குறாரு, வேற எதுவும் கேட்கல.
Sir, I'm Pravina from third year.
Yes. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
சொல்லுங்க.
The V equal to IR. Voltage across the 2 points. Okay, sir. Current through the conductor between 2 points is directly proportional to the voltage across the 2 points.
Which is the dependent parameter and which is the independent parameter? எதுக்கு ப்ரொபோர்ஷனலா இருக்கு?
V is directly proportional to current.
Okay.
Okay.
See, yeah, don't get defended. Okay, don't get defended. The reason why I'm asking, there is something like understanding level and then reproducing it to get the marks. Okay, so when I asked Ohm's law, you can even directly say the voltage is proportional to the current, correct? But you also need to tell that at the constant temperature, because the temperature also plays an important role. Okay, so I'm saying that you need to go into the understanding level, and so that you won't forget forever. Okay, V equal to IR, yes, everybody can tell, but which is proportional, which is the independent parameter. Okay, and then is that depend on any other parameter like a temperature? Because when you go higher temperature, then your negative temperature coefficient will come into picture, right? So the reason why I'm asking is that I used to go for a lot of interviews where people who tell that I did like a project in sensors or robotics, but when we try to ask an Ohm's law, or when we okay, even when I ask a basic questions like take a capacitor, I am passing an AC current, I am passing a DC current. What is the property of the capacitor for the AC and the DC current, then people will not able to answer whether it is alloy AC or blocks DC. Why it is doing that? People not able to answer. So that is the reason why I want to even stress on those points. You don't think that your robotics is going to fetch you a job. Definitely not. Robotics can be an added plus point for you to get the job, but how much we are strong in our basics will make you to even do the robotics or even super science also. Okay. So you can see that the different labs that we have been there in the curriculum, and the amount of softwares and the tools that we have in our college. If we are going to spend more time, okay, I don't think that Jayanti madam or anybody for that matter in the college or anybody will tell don't spend much time on the lab. Okay, correct? Ma'am, I don't think you are restricting the people, I mean, students from doing, I mean, spending more time in the lab, right? The reason why I'm saying that how much you put
My
more,
audio, I couldn't unmute. I got delayed. We don't tell, and in fact, we keep the department laboratory open till 6:37, and we ask them to come and work.
yeah, see, when I'm being a lecturer in the college, okay, I used to tell my students, okay, to get maximum benefit out of the lab, and on top of that, I always used to have one criteria of making them to go and present any smaller projects which they do themselves, not buying and showing to others. No, of doing their own, and then even let it be a small like a water level meter, okay, water level controller, okay, try to do understand and then do it yourself, okay, and then try to get what is that in the beginning. Okay, if you see your LED glowing in your temple room, right, in your temple the LEDs are glowing, how can it be done? It's just a 555 IC that doing the magic, right? So these small things you need to be more strong so that you can get into the electronics field. Yes, the opportunities are less, I am not saying no, okay, and people may think that the software is the one they are going to take more I mean CTC. No, it's not like that. Your entry level of package might be little bit less. I tell you, your entry level of package might be less, but the moment you cross like 3-4 years, then you will be getting an pay that will go in an exponential way. Compared to the software engineers, it will go in an exponential way. Okay, so you can see that the amount of software that you have, amount of facilities that you have, that we have, that our college is offering, right? If you are making use of it and be strong in any one, I am not saying that to learn all, okay, be strong in any one. Okay, we have LabVIEW, MATLAB, so many things we have. You have the microprocessor lab, microcontroller lab. If you are strong in that, you will be good enough for it to go into the embedded. Okay, and I hear that people are getting discouraged that they are coming from an I mean village, rural area. Doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter at all. Okay, in my team there are about like 26 people. In that, at least half of the people, less than that, I mean more than that, they are coming from a very poor background and very from rural, but still being strong in the basics, they are able to crack down the opportunity, and they are able to do an excellence in the test engineering job now. I can give so many examples. If you, I don't want to tell the, I mean, tell the names in the public, but I have so many people who are working under me. They are doing excellent, even though they are from the rural side, but still they have a very strong technical stuff where they are able to do much stronger than the people from the hi-fi so-called, I mean, corporate. I mean, like from Bangalore or Chennai, or compared to those people who are from the rural side are doing way better in technical side. Yes, of course, whatever you feeling like your communication skill, it is little bit lacking. I'm not saying no, but still with their hard work, okay, they are even outbeating the people who are smart, which is where with their technical skills, they are even outbeating the other peoples. I have taken more time. Okay. Now, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Hello.
Hello, sir. I am Kavya.
Yes, Kavya.
Sir, you're telling about testing. In manual, we will frequently change the apparatus to get the frequent outputs in a circuit. But how did you do in very large equipments you have?
Apparatus, in the sense you are saying about, you will change the
ICs.
voltage, right? You will be changing the voltage, you are saying, or you will be telling that I will be changing, if the IC is bad, I will change the other IC.
Yes, sir. ICs and others.
Yeah, in the real production environment, there is something called handler, which will help us to put the ICs and change. Okay, like a robotic arm, which will pick up the IC. Okay, and then if it is a bin one, it will put in a different tray. It's a bad, then it will put in a different tray, and then it will take a next set of IC and put. It is not a manual control, it is a robotic arm, where it is a program control basing on the trigger level input and so many stuffs. It will take care of the placing of the IC and testing, and then and segregating the IC as a good or bad. Handler is the one that is being used to do that.
ஓகே சார். அண்ட் இப்போ நம்ம ஒரு சர்க்கியூட்டை வந்து டிசைன் பண்ணியிருக்கோம் அப்படின்னா அதுல ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா இந்த பிளேஸ்ல தான் ஃபெயிலியர் இருக்குன்னு எப்படி கண்டுபிடிப்பீங்க சார்?
Okay, say for example, when you talk about any digital circuit or an analog circuit, okay, definitely on the analog co and the digital co, you will be having some functionality to be tested. Okay, கரெக்டா? அல்லது ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள், டிஜிட்டல் எக்ஸாம்பிள் எழுதிக்கும். ஒரு காம்ப்ளெக்ஸான ஒரு டிஜிட்டல் சர்க்யூட்டா இருந்தாலும் எதா இருந்தாலும் செகண்டரி லெவல் ஆஃப் இன்புட் இருக்கும் இல்லையா? பிரைமரிங்கிறது உங்க அவுட் சைட்ல இருக்க பின், செகண்டரிங்கிறது உள்ள இருக்கிற பின்ஸ் இல்லையா? இதுக்கு என்னென்ன அவுட்புட் வரணுங்கிறதுக்கு வெளியில இருந்த இன்புட் என்ன காம்பினேஷன்ல கொடுக்கணும்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் இல்லையா? சே ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஒரு அண்டிகேட் எடுத்துக்கிறீங்க, அதுல 1 0 கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா 0, 0 1 கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா 0, 1 1 கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா 1. இதே மாதிரி தான் நீங்க என்ன ஒரு காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் கொடுத்தாலும் ஒரு பர்டிகுலர் இன்புட் இருக்கும் இல்லையா? அந்த இன்புட் நீங்க கொடுக்கும்போது அந்த டிசைர்ட் அவுட்புட் வரலைங்கும் போது அதை வந்து இன்னும் வந்து இது பண்ணலாம். Similarly, analog circuit, say for example, if you take an ADC, okay, then they will measure that signal. What is that SNR test? There are different tests, right? Based on that, they will come to know which particular portion of that has the issue. I mean to say, eventually, I mean to say that based on the design, definitely you will come to know what are the different tests that needs to be done to take care of that. புரியுதா? இப்போ நான் வந்து ஒரு வோல்டேஜ் ரெகுலேட்டர் எடுக்கிறேன், அதுல வந்து எனக்கு வந்து லைன் ரெகுலேஷனா இன்புட்டை வேரி பண்ணாலும் எனக்கு அவுட்புட் கான்ஸ்டன்டா இருக்கும். அப்போ இன்புட் வேரி ஆகும்போது அவுட்புட் எனக்கு கான்ஸ்டன்டா இல்லைன்னா சம்திங் டு த ப்ராப்ளம் வித் தட் பர்டிகுலர் பிளேஸ். அது மாதிரி.
ஓகே சார், தேங்க்யூ சார்.
எஸ். Yes, any other questions?
வேற ஏதாவது questions இருக்காப்பா? Yeah, Sudhakar.
Yeah, I mean, I have listed different softwares or the tools that we have. If you see MATLAB and LabVIEW, it is a simulation where VHDL and Verilog, it can help you to do your digital simulations, digital designs, and then ARCAD software for your schematic. PCB layout engineer ஆகணும், PCB schematic engineer ஆகணும்னா you need to practice ARCAD, then PSpice னா ஒரு சிமுலேஷன், அதாவது ஒரு ஒரு CMOS NMOS கேட் லெவல்ல நீங்க வந்து ஒரு வேரியேஷன் பண்ணணும். எப்படி வந்து வேரியேஷன் பார்க்கணும்னா you can use the PSpice, NGSpice, Tanner, Virtusa, இதெல்லாமே வந்து லேஅவுட் டூல்ஸ். and Mentor graphics tools Atmel Studio for your programming, embedded program. Linux and Unix is an operating system where you need to be strong. We are strong in Windows. Everybody knows that. We need to be strong in Linux and Unix also. So that's the reason I highlighted the softwares, which are there in the college. I'm not saying that it is not there. All these tools are already there, but the problem is that we are using it only for the getting the lab done for the mark, but not for the understanding or for the future. That's the problem.
Is the industry using Altium to a larger extent, Sudhakar?
Which tool, man? Sorry, which tool?
Altium, Altium, Altium processor. Is it being used largely?
You
Altium.
Altium. You mean to ask for the embedded?
Yeah, VLSI.
Altium.
Altium and Zboard.
Sorry, you might be asking for the design oriented, I think, but I am more into the testing. I just given
Okay.
taken the help from all the other people and I've given this, okay, but I'm more into the testing. I'm not sure. I mean, if you want, I can get it, ma'am. Can you just ping me in the WhatsApp? I can get check with my other colleagues in the design team and I can get back to you, ma'am.
Yeah, definitely. We have the board actually, and we need some support for working on that.
Okay.
I'll text you.
Yes, please. You
Sudhakar.
text me, I will check with my colleagues and then get back.
Okay. What about students? What are you doing? எல்லாமே புரிஞ்சிடுச்சு questions கிடையாது anything you can ask இது எப்படி படிக்கலாம் Mr. Sudhakar has worked in a college and he knows about the students. So after that, he has put with a lot of efforts and then he has joined the industry. So you can actually check with him how to prepare. என்ன வேணா கேட்கலாம் அவர்கிட்ட.
Okay.
கேட்கலாமா?
Let me tell my experience in doing the interview with the students. I think I have already given a few examples, but most of the places when we go for the interview, right, ma'am, even the college, I mean, there are students who was smart and then answering, but at least on an average and above, the people are not strong, at least not knowing the basics. Okay, so basics, when I'm telling the basics every time, is that basics on the digital, okay, basics on the electric circuits, basics on the operational amplifier, like that. I'm not talking about anything higher end. I mean, transmission lines and waveguides, all those higher steps. No, I'm talking about a very basic operational amplifier, a very basic transistor, very basic electrical circuit, electronic circuit. Okay. So these people, I'm not sure whether it's because once they come to the final year, they forgot all they did in the first and second year, or what, I don't know. But basically, and most of the interviews which we went, right, which I went, which we used to go, people are not very good in basics. I'm not saying need to be strong. I mean, excellent. At least to a basic level, people, yes, they are missing. I'm not sure whether is it because of the long gap or what. If we are going to refresh ourselves before going into that, definitely we can crack any of the, I mean, electronics industries now, I mean, clearance. We can clear any of the basic tests and we can get into it.
Yeah, that is true actually. Basics are really needed. Whatever it is, you go for a company or you go for writing a exam in a public sector, and anywhere for that matter, if you are good in your basics, then you can build upon it to any level and anything. And just building upon without having your basics strong, you will fall down at any point of time. That is why people should understand analog, digital, analog electron devices, digital circuits, or LIC. All these things are very, very important for electronics.
And moreover, now if you see the market has changed tremendously. Okay, earlier if you see that, right, we will be recruiting the engineers and then we will be training them. Okay, and then we will be inducting them into the projects. But rather now, the customer is asking where the people can directly start working and then supporting. In that case, we are looking for the people who are smart and who are already known at least the basic things, like whatever the tools that they have, at least the basic levels of understanding on those tools like that. Okay, so in this situation, right, if we are not making ourselves to be strong in these things, right, definitely we might not be at we cannot able to grab the chances. The people who are little bit more strong or little bit more practiced on these tools, right, definitely they can able to track and get the and grab the opportunities compared to the others.
True. But it is usually they'll realize when they come to the later part
Exactly.
of
I tell you what will
part of
happen
the
now.
course.
Now the people will not use the tools like this VHDL, Verilog, LabVIEW, MATLAB, all those things. But again, the same person will spend like 50,000, 1 lakh doing the course outside, and then they feel that yes, we had the tool in the college, but we haven't made use of it. There are people who are there having knowledge on each of these tools. Definitely you can able to get it, and it doesn't matter, you can even google it and you can get it. I mean, at least a basic understanding, and you can build on top of that. No need for anybody to guide you. Yes, based on the short time that we have in the syllabus, I mean in the 6 months, yes, they have to concentrate from the college side, they have to concentrate on certain things. But as an user, as a people who is going to go for a job later, right, you need to make most of it, and you need to go into the bottom root of that actually, if you want to make sure that you want to be a part of the core industry.
True. See, if you have any questions, you can interrupt us. Just because you are taking time to ask questions, we are talking. Don't feel that we are talking and you cannot interrupt. You can always interrupt us with your questions.
Good morning, sir. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said about Moore's law, sir. Moore's
Yes.
law. And as far I have checked in some websites, they say that Moore's law is not valid, or it is sometimes valid, or it is outdated.
No. Actually, yeah, there is a see here. You cannot put more and more. Correct. It is not going to be true. Maybe like after 10 years, but there is something like nanotechnology. All those things, right? So that is still making it to be possible to an extent. Okay. Earlier, if you see, you might be knowing like 65 nanometer, 28 nanometer, 14 nanometer. Now people are working on 5 nanometer. When I am telling 5 nanometer, then think the amount of transistor that is going to be covered in that same small chip that you are going to use. Correct. And even the research are going on 3 nanometer and 1.5 nanometer technology. But when we go for this technology, the transistor that we use, like CMOS, will go into like a FinFET and GAA. There are different things that will go into. Definitely there is a possibility and there is a restriction also. I am not saying that this will be possible till this world is going to end. No, I am not saying that. But the researchers are going in to make it possible. As I told, 3 nanometer, 1.5 nanometer study is already going on.
Okay, sir. Still, which year will it be valid, sir? Any guess, sir?
I mean, I don't have a solid answer for this, but if I tell 3 nanometer or 1.5 nanometer, right, definitely for another at least 6 to 10 years, it can be possible.
Okay,
3
sir.
nanometer is still in the research. It's not like, I mean, it's in the study level. It's not implemented. But 5 nanometer already the product are being in the test.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Kavi.
Sir, this is Mauli from second year, sir.
Yes, Mowli. Yes.
Sir, other than oscillator and function generator, whether any other electronic equipment knowledge is required for working in core area?
I tell you what, I tell you what, if you take a multimeter, that itself can help you a lot. Okay, signal generator, your oscilloscope, DSO, there are so many things, logic analyzer, there are so many things. Definitely, I believe all these are being there in your lab, but your understanding on your basic multimeter on power supply will help you even more than what you think. Logic analysis is also that I can give you an end example. I mean logic analyzer. I mean DSO, digital signal oscilloscope, equivalent to an I mean it is more advanced of an CRO. There I mean instruments are there, but I'm trying to say that we need to be strong in the basic things that like an multimeter, ammeter, voltmeter, and then this power supply.
Okay, so I have one more question, sir. What are the stuff you required, you expect from the fresher candidates, sir?
Fresher candidates, I have already given that list. Actually, it need to be little bit. At least need to know the basics on the basic electronics like your transistors, gates, okay, digital electronics, and then operational amplifiers, circuit theory, all these things.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
This is Ramya from ETE, sir.
Yes, Ramya.
Thank you for your presence here, sir. The session was interesting. And my question is, what parts of your job do you find most challenging, and do you find any negatives to your job, sir?
Negatives to the job, positives, challenging. As I told, right, when the technology even becoming more and more, right, like earlier it was like 7 nanometer, 28 nanometer, 14 nanometer, now it is 5 nanometer, 3 nanometer. We need to adapt ourselves into the newer testing methodologies and newer tester platforms. Okay, earlier I have worked in a different platforms like Advantage. Now I am working on the Uflex. That helps me to learn a little bit more. Okay, challenging is that I'm being in the top. Going up the ladder, right? More than the technical contribution, your managerial contribution need to be more, where you need to make other people's to do the task. That is little bit of challenging, but I'm happy that I'm able to do it.
Okay, sir.
One of your junior or senior, I'm not sure, his name is Dinesh. He is also my team actually. Dinesh Vasudevan.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Hello, sir. This is Sonia from ECE, sir.
Yes, Sonia.
Sir, are you offering any internship for the students, sir?
Earlier it was being done, okay, but now with the amount of work and the amount of cost that involves, right, it is not being taken, okay, I mean it is not being offered directly, but there is another way we are doing, but if I tell that, then it will be more like a marketing. If you want, I can tell. Okay, basically we are also having a tie-up with some of the colleges where we used to give the training for the staffs and interns. The staffs will be training the students, selected students of the college. Okay, we have a course tie-up where the testing course is already being done for some of the colleges, and they are, once they complete the course during their final year, they will be coming in our company as an interns, get the job done as a training and then internship, and once they done, we will have one more interview, and then we will acquire them. Like that also we are doing.
Okay, sir. And I have one more question, sir. Can you suggest any software tool for testing, sir?
Software tool for testing, you definitely you cannot get it outside, except for the fact that you need to know what are the testing concepts. If you are strong in testing concepts, the tool and then the testers doesn't matter, okay, but if you are strong in the concepts, you can able to do wonders. Like say for example, if I am talking about an 741 op-amp, okay, now tell me what is the ideal characteristics of a 741 operational amplifier. Don't get offended, okay, just I'm asking, okay. That is I mean the tools that we are using, it's like an IGXL or an smart scale or a smart test, definitely that are tester oriented. But if you ask me like a languages, earlier I have used, I mean earlier it was like a C++, now it is an VB Virtual Basics, okay, and then I'm not sure where it will go on end. I'm not saying that I'm strong in software, but a basic level of that software is also required. But even more, the software or the tool, the basic testing knowledge is even more important. I'm saying when I'm saying that 741, I need to know what is the ideal characteristics, how I am going to test that ideal characteristics, or how I am going to test the parameters. Okay, like that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Hello, Sudhakar. It's Madan here.
Yes, Madan.
I have a question for you, Sudhakar, since you are in this electronic field. I remember when I was when we were in third year, there was a proposal. Rather than going for an industrial visit, why don't we go to Bangalore? And I think that point of time we had a discussion about one particular company. Our classmate VN Prakash was also suggesting that basically that will be a 3 days course for the PCB level understanding and for the beginners. That will we were told that that will give a good grip on the electronic field, which will further help our career in the future. So right now, since you have spent more than a decade in this, what do you think about such proposals? Will that really helps 3 days in a company which teaches about the PCB and giving a insight about how that industry is? Will that really help?
I tell you what, okay, before I go into this industry like Tesol, okay, on 2007, to be frank, I don't know whether in India we have this much of facilities, okay, and I don't know Tesol, and I don't even know that, yeah, this kind of semiconductor testing there in India, okay, but once I enter into that, I'm able to see these wonders, okay. What I'm trying to say is that, okay, in India itself we are doing very high end technical works, okay. The reason we are not knowing is that whenever, yeah, you might know that even others might know that whenever we are talking about an industrial visit, we will go for a distance place where we will enjoy, not for the industry. Correct. We went till the north for an industrial visit, but what is that we have seen there at the end? Nothing, right?
Yes, agreed,
Yes, of course, this 3-day course definitely it will help for the students to motivate and then get into get themselves even more motivated to go into the core industry. Yes, but what I'm trying to say that people, if there is a chance, okay, if they do an industrial visit, go to a core companies, not like BSNL. Yes, I'm not saying that BSNL, but BSNL, you are not going into the field. You are going into the offices. You are going into the offices. You are not going to see anything. I think, Madan, once we went to the Bangalore ISRO, right?
Yes,
Correct?
Telephone City we went, Sudhakar. Telephone
Yes.
City,
Correct.
and we saw
I'm
all the
trying to say
PCB
that
automatic.
when you go for this kind of industrial visit, you will see the amount of electronics technology that going into the company, and that will boost your motivation to go into the core industry. Yes, 3 days course, it will help, but from the 3 days course, how you build on top of that is what even more matter than those 3 days course. In 3 days, definitely whole PCB designing cannot be, I mean, given for us, but they will for sure give some hands-on experience, and for sure they will be throwing some a spotlight on what is that PCB, what is the process, and what is the tool, and a little bit on hands-on demo like that. Okay, but how do you going to build on top of that with whatever the tools that we have inside our, in our college, or what we, there are so many of so many of free softwares also available. NEdit, OrCAD to the basic level, it's there. You can just draw a circuit and you can give your input. Okay, whatever that we are doing in the laboratory, we can no need to go to the laboratory. You can just sit in the, we can just simulate it and see that whether we are going to get that output or what change going to impact, what is, going to impact the output. All those things we can do in a software level also. So the answer is that yes, 3 days course will help, but what we build on top of that will even make us even more stronger.
Okay, Sudhakar.
Yes.
I want to. Can I ask one more question?
Yes. Go on, Madan.
For the students now, all are speaking about the job. Do you think there are some entrepreneurial opportunity for these students when they come out in such technology field, the electronic field where you are right now? Do they have such things?
Entrepreneur level, yes, we can do the, but the amount of knowledge that, say for example, let me take the critical example of my own CEO. Okay, right, my own CEO Rajamanikam. He is an entrepreneur who had started this company, right? So he haven't started this company directly. He has worked on the TI, Texas Instrument. He worked for some years. Okay, and then after that he has joined along with the other technical people. Okay, and then started, and doing this kind of a startup, definitely it requires some amount of experience. Working experience, not like reading experience. Reading experience will not help. Need some amount of working experience and a little bit of more money. Okay, and then it has to be a link also. There should be a some rapport is also needed. It doesn't mean that I have like 100 crores. Okay, I'm strong in the technology. Does it helps? No. It need to have a little bit of strong exposures to the people in these industries to get that, eventually to get the project and to get that work done and then to get profited. Yes, can be an entrepreneur, but my advice is that if you ask me whether I can be an entrepreneur now, yes, I can do that, joining along with about my years of experience. But if you could have asked me the same question like 10 years or 15 years back, no, I cannot. I could tell that no, I have to get some experience to start the company like this.
Okay, Sudhakar. Thank you very much. I personally like your lecture and you have thrown deeper insights on your field, which I was totally ignorant of. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Madan.
Welcome, Madan, for having joined us.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
It's my pleasure.
So you have become a student for Sudhakar's lecture and you have started asking questions.
No, he's always my friend, madam.
I have been his student since my college times, ma'am. I learned a lot from him. He is
everyone is a.
He is one unique guy who has maintained 100% attendance, ma'am, in the 4 years of engineering. He is one unique guy. So he is unbeatable in that regard, ma'am.
I tell you, whoever in this meeting, don't follow that, okay?
Now we are giving marks actually, Sudhakar, for 100% attendance. So they usually do that. Earlier, you didn't have marks. This autonomous system, we provide marks for them.
I tell you, I had maintained that from my 6th standard till my test second year, okay? But like in a family, right, I realized how much I have missed. Okay, you could also understand the amount of curse that this Madan or Prabhakaran or Venkatraman or somebody could have scolded me for that doing that.
Yeah.
We went for an north side for the industrial visit. In the name of industrial visit, we went around like 1 week. The next day, I think Monday or Tuesday, it was your lab, microwave lab. Me and Shubhasini is the one there in the lab. All the others were taken off. Okay, you think that how much people could have scolded us?
Definitely.
I had made a decision, so I did that. But I'm telling that please don't lose small happiness or enjoyment for doing this. If if there is a time and opportunity to maintain that, yeah, go ahead and do that. But don't lose your time being in an engage, which I have missed actually.
Perceptions always differ.
And I tell you what, okay, and I tell you what, in the first year or the second year beginning, I went to this first year end, I think, I went to an association validatory function of ECE. At that time, I decided and I told to my friends, see here, like the same, I'm going to get my best outgoing student. I did that. I did that and I got the best outgoing student in the final year.
That's great. That is very great. So you achieved what you wanted, right? So
Yes.
it does not matter. So you wanted to get 100%. You wanted to get the best outgoing. You wanted to do PG. You wanted to enter into the industry. Everything happened, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So nothing wrong in it. Even now you are enjoying your life. Doesn't matter. You have to enjoy at the same point.
Yes, yes. And thanks for all the God's grace and all the blessings from the staffs and lecturers, everybody. I tell you, might be, I mean, don't mistake me, okay? I'm not sure how many people know Jayanti madam like 10, 15 years back. Madan, I think Madan, when we started this alumni meet, also told the same thing. How many records are getting fly away in the air, but still it is flying like that. Correct?
None of the records. Jayanti madam has changed a lot. I don't throw away the notebooks. No more.
I tell you what, during our time, at least like in each lab, at least minimum 2-3 will get, I mean, thrown out. Okay. And the other thing is that still I remember that madam class will be exactly after the interval break. Say for example 11, madam will be there exactly at 11. If anybody is going to trying to see that madam entered, then those other people like Venkatraman, all those people will not even ask for the excuse. They know that 10th madam will be in the class, we are for sure will not be allowed inside after the particular time. So, madam is well known for the strictness, but it depends on the perception, but I take it always as a positive. This helped me to do myself.
But I would like to tell all the students that that is the reality when you go outside. It
Yes,
is not
yes.
like it is a one passing cloud kind of experience. That is what the reality, once when you step out of the comfort zone of college, this is what you will face. And so you are actually getting the real time experience of the future actually. So
Correct,
please have it
exactly.
your mind.
Yes.
True.
I wish all the students, like there are so many things around. Example, you go to a computer lab or you go to any lab, there are 100 computers out there. How all the computers are connected, that curiosity should come in your mind, because when you come out of the college as an engineer, people will throw questions just for the sake of throwing it. Hey, you are an engineer, you don't know this also. You are an engineer, you don't know that also. The kind of questions the people will ask, that will be really humiliating. So please keep your eyes and ears open and see that you are grasping each and everything in the college, and make the best use of the best institution you are in and the best stuff you are with.
Thanks, Madan. And any more questions you have? Okay. So I think we are done for this session. I thank Mr. Sudhakar.
Thanks. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Sudhakar, for having spent your morning time amidst your schedule here with us and shared all your experiences right from your college life to your company with us. I hope all these will be taken by our students, though they haven't asked much questions. They'll be taking it through their life and using them. And also Mr. Madan, who has joined this session and made it more lively. Both of you, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks,
And we
Madan.
will be looking forward to take this forward. I'll get back to you, Mr. Sudhakar, for the
Yes.
course you were talking about, because
Yes.
ours is also autonomous. We can offer the course and try for those internships. I'll
Sure.
get back to you.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sudhakar, and
Thank
thank you, Mr. Madan.
Thank you very
Thanks
much,
a
ma'am.
lot.
Thanks all
Sudhakar.
for the patience hearing. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.